President Hassan Rouhani says that Iran is enriching even more uranium than they were before the 2015 deal now. That, along with growing tensions between Iran and the United States, has neighboring countries like Pakistan uneasy about the potential for war so close to home. The Pakistani foreign minister met with Rouhani and Foreign Minister Zarif a few days ago, and now he is in Washington, D.C. to meet with congressional members and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as well. Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Pakistan's foreign minister, joins me now exclusively this evening. Mr. Foreign Minister, thank you so much for being with us this evening. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Tell me, sir, what was your primary goal in your conversation with President Rouhani, and did you achieve it?
Well, my primary goal was to tell them that de-escalation is in everybody's interest. Pakistan is interested in de-escalation. We feel that a new conflict in the region can be very, very dangerous. It can go beyond the region. The impact of a conflict in the region could go beyond the region. If oil supplies are disrupted, a global economy will get affected. We should think of undertaking steps to diffuse the tensions that took place because of the airstrike.
And what was his response to that? Because he has said, as I just mentioned, that they're now enriching more uranium than before, and the Ayatollah Khamenei has said that the retaliation after the strike against Qasem Soleimani was not good enough, it wasn't enough, and that European and U.S. soldiers are in danger. So what was his reaction to your call for de-escalation?
Well, they sounded positive to me, the foreign minister and the president. They did not. There were no mood to escalate things further, and they did realize the consequences of escalating further.
Do you think that the JCPOA, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK, has called to redo the deal and to do what he called a Trump deal? Is that something that you'd be in favor of, or do you believe that there should be a return to the JCPOA?
Well, the impression I got from the conversation I had with them was that they are willing to talk within the JCPOA. They're not willing to talk about the JCPOA.
What does that mean?
That means they are willing to see what the grievances are and how we can remove them. They don't think it should be scrapped and started all over again.
Understood. Do you believe that the U.S. should leave the region? There are politicians in this country who firmly believe that, and some who don't, who think that we play a positive role there. What do you think?
Well, President Trump has committed that he wants to bring back his troops. He's asked Pakistan to facilitate a dialogue with the Taliban so that there can be a withdrawal of troops, foreign troops from Afghanistan. We have facilitated that dialogue in the hope that there's peace there, there's stability there, and what we are asking for is, even if you withdraw, do it responsibly. Do not do what you did in the 1980s, where you created a vacuum and disrupted forces came in to fill that vacuum.
So you want a careful, responsible withdrawal, is what I'm hearing, Mr. Foreign Minister. I want to play a soundbite that got some attention from our Pentagon reporter. This was from Secretary Pompeo, who I know you're going to meet with, talking about about Iran's role in the Haqqani network, which caught a lot of people sort of off guard in some ways. Let's play that for you.
Most people know about Iran's proxy networks in the Arab world. But the regime also has a relationship with the Taliban and related groups, such as the Haqqanis, the Tora Bora, and the Mullah Dadullah group. The Taliban's entanglement in Iran's dirty work will only harm the Afghanistan peace process.
Is that your understanding, that Iran has a role in funding or supporting the Haqqani network?
Well, we do not. See, the point is the Taliban are today talking to the Americans. There is a possibility of an agreement, reaching an agreement. Yesterday, there was an announcement that they have agreed to a cessation of hostilities. There's a ceasefire of, between 7 to 10 days before they could take the next step, that is, move towards an agreement, and that agreement finally leading towards an intra-Afghan dialogue.
But could you just answer that question about whether or not you think that Iran has any role in the Haqqani network, and does the ISI still support the Haqqani network or no longer?
You see, you want to discuss the past. The past can be better. Let's not discuss the past. Let's look at the future. Let's look at the future, which is in everybody's interest. Peaceful, stable future.
So does that mean that the ISI no longer supports that network? That's what I'm gathering from you. Is that correct, sir?
Well, the ISI has been supporting the peace process. They have been facilitating. They have used whatever little influence they had to bring the Taliban to the negotiating table. That was the U.S. ask from them, and they have delivered. They wanted an authoritative delegation in place so that they could have a meaningful dialogue, and that is what they got.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone hopes for, peace in the region. One last question before I let you go, sir. Will Prime Minister Khan go to the Shanghai summit and meet with Prime Minister Modi of India, as he was invited to do today? Well,
Prime Minister Khan was very, very clear that if the Indians took one step towards peace, he will take two. Unfortunately, the Indian attitude has been very negative. They have been very aggressive. Look at the rhetoric of the Indian Army chief. Look at the measures they have taken after the 5th of August in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Look at the repression that's going on. And look at the use of force. Look at the innocent people who have been detained without charges. And it's not just confined to the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Look at the legislative work they've undertaken, the Citizen Amendment Act that has resulted in protests all over India.
All right, so we'll wait and see what happens there. Thank you very much, Foreign Minister Qureshi of Pakistan, sir. I appreciate you being here and taking the questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.